Hey guys, my name is Nick and welcome back to the channel, and in this very different episode or issue or video, whatever you want to call this these days, I am joined by the gentlemen from the Floorhammer Podcast, Dave and Rich.
Stand up, merch out.
Oh, gentlemen, that's very kind of you.
Well, I'm a very polite and gentlemanly channel. All ages are welcome. So, welcome to this very different one. If you don't listen to the Floorhammer Podcast, I recommend...
Why?
Maybe it's one of the more above average ones that are out there.
Oh, above average.
Above average.
I'll take that.
I'll take that.
It's a 6.5 out of 10.
That's...
It's better, but it's a good 9 out of 10 on the weeks that you mentioned me.
Okay, which is most of them.
44 out of 45. We're going to be doing a sort of a crossover collaboration. So this is going to be put on your podcast as an audio file.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But equally, it's going out on this channel as a video file.
Yep.
So if you listen to these guys and you actually crazily want to see what they look like, come and watch it live on my channel.
This is why we are in the audio medium.
Yeah.
They spent at least 3 minutes in the makeup room prior to this video.
Yeah. Hair takes a long time, Nick.
Yes.
It's hair and makeup, yeah?
Hair,
Don't put me down.
yeah, okay.
Bit of foundation, we were fine.
But the format of the video is exactly the same as your regular podcast. So
Yep.
you have a format that you like to follow. If you'd like to explain to my channel how that basically flows, and then we'll dive straight into the content.
Oh, this is your call here.
This is my call, yep. So we will start with a bit of hobby progress. It's always nice to look back and see what we actually managed to do in the last 2-3 weeks for us. And
It was Christmas.
It was Christmas, which means, Dave, you might have actually got something done, but don't count your chickens.
That was my excuse for why I hadn't.
I just blown it out of the water. We talk about GW releases. It's not been too busy over Christmas period, which is nice, but there's a fair few things to talk about. We dive into a topic usually, which will be a mixture of a 2019 retrospective and a bit of a look forward to 2020, which is always nice to do at the start of the year. Talk about a game. So Nick is going to regale us with tales of...
Demons versus Ultramarines.
Ooh,
Zinch
nice.
Demons.
Zinch Demons. And we'll round things off with a hobby tip. So, should we dive into the hobby progress then?
As always, you can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Floorhammer Podcast, our website, floorhammerpodcast.com, and our Instagram handle at Floorhammer_podcast.
Right, so hobby progress, as you are our guest and on your channel.
That's weird, isn't it?
Anyway,
You're the
Nick,
guest on
would
your
you-
own show.
I'm a guest on my own channel with you guys
Yeah.
on your podcast.
Would you like to go first?
I would. Now we're going to cheat because I don't remember what I wrote when I wrote this 2 days ago.
That's what we do
we
notes.
have show notes, which is very professional.
We sometimes read them as well.
Well, that's
Yeah.
This is
So,
gonna-
what, sometimes stick to them.
Yeah. So my hobby progress over Christmas. I got quite a bit actually.
Do you have a good Christmas?
It was good. I went to my parents and drank a bottle of rum.
Okay, yeah.
Then we had New Year's and I drank a bottle of rum.
Aren't you supposed to caveat with like drink responsibly before
Drink
people
aware.
slam you in the comments?
Drink aware. Yeah, this is made for adults, not children these days.
Do you remember the
Otherwise,
days in between Christmas and New Year? Considering that was a bottle of rum.
There was a lot of inactivity in those periods of time.
Staring at the rim of the toilet.
No, it wasn't that bad.
No, okay.
It wasn't that bad.
Come on, Dave.
But I actually did some hobby stuff.
Go on then.
And the first, I'll start big. I finished my Wall of Titan.
That is... You did it in 2019, Titan 19.
Hashtag.
Do not have hashtag. I'm not our presence,
I'm not.
please.
I'll get crucified by Matt Grosvenor if I did that.
Too late.
I'm so pleased you did it. Like,
And we're talking the proper one as well. We're not talking Adeptus Titanic. We are talking the big one that I bought
When did you buy it?
when it came out.
How long
you
ago
were
was
there.
that?
I think you were
Yeah.
there when I bought it.
Yeah. I think
How long
so.
ago was that?
3.5-ish. It was Games Day before Warhammer Fest existed. So we were
It's
at...
been fest for quite a while, hasn't
It's
it?
been Fest for a while. I'm fairly sure it was Games Day. I can't remember. I think it might have still been... Was it still at Coventry or was it at Warhammer World that year? I can't remember. Either way, it was when it came out, and I remember them... I'd wanted one as soon as they announced it.
Yeah. Got clearance from management.
Did they press a secret button when you ordered it?
Well, the queue to buy them was pretty long. I wasn't the only one in the queue. And they had 8 available on the day. I didn't get the first 8 because everyone's after the certificate.
Yeah,
Everyone
right.
wants the
Yes,
lowest
the number
certificate,
certificate,
which
yeah.
means absolutely nothing, by the way.
Not if you're a collector, it doesn't.
Yeah, but if you are a
Or it
Titan
does.
fanatic, you want the certificate and you want
Right.
it as low numbered because that means that you're an idiot. So I got number 27. So yeah, I got in the queue. I didn't get the first 8, and in fact, what I heard from the guy that was first in the queue didn't get number 1.
Oh, really?
He got number 7, I believe.
Ooh,
I think number 1 is the one that's actually in
the one's in the
420.
cabinet, right? Yeah, the one.
So they still, I think they still issue themselves their own certificate. But he didn't get number 1, which is what I think he got there at like 5 in the morning to try and get the first one.
That's crazy.
He didn't get the lowest number. But anyway,
turning up at 5 in the morning and getting number 7. Man.
Fast forward 3 years, and I actually started painting it this year. And just before Christmas Day, I finished it.
That's awesome, because I've really enjoyed the videos you've been putting up of it as you've been working over, the last 18 months-ish?
Yeah, it's good.
Look here, it's probably suggested.
No, it's up in the... You're supposed to point to the corner.
I can't remember which
videos,
it goes in a corner. I can't remember which way
Recommended videos down the side.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Usually dash cam videos or something. For me, anyway.
But yeah, either way.
Weird obsession.
Weird obsession.
Moving on.
All I was waiting for to do was the guns. I'd done most of the other work before, and it got to the last month, and I thought, you know what, I have committed to people that watch this channel and several social media outlets that I would complete it. And so I sat down over 9 evenings and finished the guns.
Can you confirm or deny that the reason it took you so long was because you were painting yellow over black?
Using Tamiya flat yellow, that is very easy. Top tip. We put that in the hobby tip section later.
Yeah.
Tamiya flat yellow over black, 2 coats through an airbrush, perfectly smooth and lovely.
Nice. That's good, since we just lost the ability to use Avalanche Sunset out of a can. So
yeah. So that was what I used. Because there's a lot of yellow. Because I've gone with the Legio Astorum. If you've been watching the progress and seen the final video, which was 2 videos ago from when this comes out. I'll put a link in the description below. That'll do. Let's do that, and then we haven't got to point to corners.
No. We'll make a caveat to probably put a description if we remember in our podcast notes.
yeah, we'll do some links.
That'll do.
If we remember.
Yeah. So either way, that was my hobby progress before Christmas. Then we had some Dark Uprising come out, so I actually spent 2 evenings cleaning up the mould lines and
cutting, a big box of
cutting Dark Uprising terrain from the sprue. If you've seen the box and the picture on the Warhammer community page of this mountain of sprue, I removed all that and put it in a really useful box ready to try and remember to paint it. Had a little layout and a little play around and see what combinations you can do, but just cleaning that stuff up took a lot of effort. So that was a few evenings. I think that's what I did in the rum coma between Christmas and New Year. Nice. And then finally, there's been a few people, Glenn included, one of our close gaming buddies, Glenn. He's done it, and also one of my Patreons, Bitzbox.co.uk, subtle plug, thank you Bitzbox, is to make containers into like bizarre gun shops.
It's so good.
Yeah.
People have seen, there's been a few people that have done this now, and you basically take all your old guns that you've never used, spares off of vehicles, dreadnoughts, you name it, all those grenade pouches that you've never attached to a marine, and then you build one of those containers. They are Munitorum containers. You leave the front off, you make a little table out of leftover sprue or movement trays,
modular movement tray,
which is great. And then you stick all the guns on the inside, and it looks like a shopping centre for illegal firearms in the 41st millennium.
Like one up from the back of an SUV.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, or a Taurox.
Yeah,
because that's where it comes from.
Great to add characterful terrain pieces like that to your gaming table. It's really, really good.
Yeah. So I haven't decided how I'm going to glue it all together yet, because I do those 12-inch square terrain tiles.
Yeah.
Plastic glue.
What other than that? But whether I want it to be a fixed piece on 2 12 by 12 squares that you can rotate around and use in a normal game like I've got with my other terrain pieces, or whether to have them freestanding and floaty and use them in kill team.
I think loose scatter, so you can use them in kill team. If you're building up your Dark Uprising Zone Mortalis terrain, you can use it in that. I think having it loose gives you more options.
Definitely.
Okay, well there we go. That was my hobby progress since you last did a podcast.
So does that mean that your Zone Mortalis work from Dark Uprising is now further along than your actual Zone Mortalis board from Forge World?
Well, when I bought the Warlord Time,
Yes.
That's when I bought the Zone Mortalis.
Oh, is that the one where you paid with
vouchers?
Vouchers.
Yes.
Oh my god, they wanted to murder you because they had to type in the serial
code.
number of each voucher individually.
Correct.
Yeah,
Oh
it's
my
less of this,
word.
more of.
That was
one,
Warhammer Fest because we had to spend like 45 minutes waiting for you to pay at the checkout.
Yeah, because they didn't have a scanner to scan barcodes.
No.
I don't think the vouchers came with barcodes, so they had to enter them manually.
Let's press the value on the till, type in the serial number, rip up the voucher, and do the next one.
And do you know the bad thing about those Forge World tiles, which they don't make anymore?
They're 90% the size of a plastic one.
They cost them
other than
a small house.
other than the price difference, they're not compatible.
That's what I mean. They're different size.
They're not compatible with the new plastic ones.
Yeah.
So the door sections that you get with
Yep.
the new ones don't fit in the gaps on the Forge World ones, and the tiles themselves 6mm higher
Yep.
than the new plastic ones that Games Workshop released.
That's because all the pieces in the plastic one go together rather than the wonky as fuck Forge World ones that don't go together.
Yes. So you can mount the plastic ones on a 6mm board. It'll bring it to the right height.
Right.
But they're not the same.
And they
Yeah.
would look like they would go together, but you can't do the doors and some
No.
of it. But you could build over the top of it. But the little pylon or the little, what are they called? The
corner pieces.
The corner pieces and
Yeah.
the bits to raise up your board that you get on the plastics don't fit on top of
No.
the other ones. So you can use it, but you can't.
Yeah.
Best
Oh,
to
well.
stick to one. And if you are going to take something away from this video, do not try and pay for a Warlord Titan with vouchers,
Yeah.
because the till operator will try and murder you with the scanner.
Yeah, which doesn't work.
No, which doesn't work unless he like sharpens it into like some sort of shiv. But yeah, you said that's what you got done over your Christmas period.
Indeed.
Shall I go next?
Yeah, it won't take long.
I mean, in show notes order, I am next.
I'll go for it then.
Won't take long, as you did say. I'll start off by saying it was very busy Christmas period. I have a baby, for those people that don't know, as does my wife. So I didn't...
Wait. She also has a baby, or she doesn't know.
So you've got two babies.
Oh, God, that's...
Is this like Angelina and Brad all over?
No.
Yeah, Brangelina. No, she has a baby that I share with her in our family home. Oh God, where am I? Yeah, so anyway, it was busy. I didn't get much done. However, for those people that have listened to the podcast before, I was working on Adeptus Custodes. So I had bought a load of Custodes and were painting the Custodian Wardens.
Yeah.
So they're the elite's choice. They're the guys with the
Bathrobes.
half bathrobes around there. Like when you get out of the shower and you put the towel around your midriff, that's what they look like. And apparently that makes them elite status.
That's
It does.
graphic description of a bathrobe there.
It is, and
I like it.
it also makes them like 50 times the price of a guardsman.
Yeah. But hard as nails.
Yeah, they do not die.
They do not die.
So I finished them. So I had started off with greys. I think it was is it Storm Vermin Fur?
Storm Vermin Fur, yeah.
That's the sort of the browny grey. So they're all based off of that, with red as the robes colours, with blue gems. So that's what I did this period. I did the gems and all the details around.
There's a lot
them.
of faffing on those models.
There is a lot of details and a lot of faffing, but 3 models to a unit.
So what you're saying is you managed to paint one model a week.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean it was essentially condensed down into 3 nights or so. But yeah, 1 model a night there.
Wow.
So no, I was doing all the details, all the gems. I've done the gems light blue to tie them into the golden boys.
Well, that's a good idea.
The standard version, and
Yeah.
they've got the red cloaks to sort of also tie them in. So I didn't want to go too far fetched where they've got like purples and greens and
We like to keep our 40k realistic.
yeah.
It's got to be grounded in solid.
No, I
reality.
just wanted to tie them into the classic Custodes look without doing the classic gold and red. I was about to go, they're about this big, which means nothing to anyone out there.
They're tiny.
Yeah, I mean, people listening can't see, and people watching know don't know how big my hands are. So.
That's true. Moving on.
No, so they are very small. The bigger gems, I could do it in like 3 different colours. So I think it starts off and works its way up to a Baroth blue, which is the edge colour.
Yeah.
And then a white in the middle. And then an Ardcoat over the top to make it shiny.
Nice.
So yeah, I finished off those Custodian Wardens. People on our Instagram and listeners to the show would have known that I have done some marble bases for them.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So I've done 3 marble bases, finished the 3 guys.
Have you got them on their bases?
No.
Oh, come on, man. I want to see what they look like as a whole thing.
I can take a picture of them standing on the base, but it wouldn't be stuck down. I also need to... So my wife is going out on Friday.
This is exciting.
Bit of
for everyone
insight
to know.
into the family calendar.
Party time then.
Well, no, after the baby. But
Dave's address in the description below. We're all welcome.
Oh, don't be put... No, it's going to be like one of those house parties on Facebook disasters.
I welcome the interaction. No. Again, I've forgotten where I am.
We're having a house party.
So she is out on Friday.
Yep.
So I have the house to myself, and when I put said aforementioned baby to bed, I will get out the airbrush and I will gloss varnish the marble. That's the only thing that's missing from them.
You're going to have to bulk do all your airbrush work in one go, right? Because you've got a lot of setup to do.
Yeah.
Can you do your browns on your other custodians that you're waiting to do as well? Kind of like maximise that session?
So, if we move on to the next bit.
Oh, okay.
I am now working on the Vexillus Praetor, which is the banner bearer and the chapter ancient of the Custodes. He was originally the test model for the colours of the armour and robes, so he already has the robes down and the armour down, but he needs to do all the details, the gems, the banner as well.
You've got a lot of work to do then, still.
Yeah, to him. And I've also built and undercoated the Achilles Dreadnought. So he's the guy with the massive Guardian Spear.
Yep.
Dreadnought from Forge World.
Which we bought when we were at Dave's birthday. Is that the one you bought?
Yes.
Up for
in October.
Yeah.
So he was technically the first model for the Custodians that I bought.
He was.
But I didn't want to paint him straight away because I wanted to get the colour scheme down on smaller models. So yeah, he is still to paint. So when I get the airbrush out, I will do all of the marble effects on all of the bases using the EPVC, not UPVC.
Nope.
Don't want to be cutting up windows. All the bases for the models that I have. Do the marble effect, gloss them, and then do the base coating armour on some Custodian Wardens that I've been building.
Nice.
So these are not the Custodian Wardens, Custodian Guards that I've been building.
Right, those are the regular super
Regular 55 models.
Okay.
Yeah, regular Space Marine captains, pretty much. So they are in a squad of 4 for my... squad of 3 for my 500 point list.
You've got to keep them cheap, right? Because working on a 500 point list, you really can't cram many of them in there.
Yeah, so I've stuck a Storm Shield in there, but I don't like the look of the massive swords that they have.
The gun swords they're so stupid.
They're not as good as the Guardian Spears.
No, they're not.
With
They're
the
not.
built-in bolt gun at the end. I remember making those before these models existed. I did.
Before it was cool.
Hipster Nick. I converted some Custodian guards.
Okay.
Using top knots from Eldar model. Oh no, the pointy hats from Eldar
Oh,
models.
yeah.
Top
Sea
knots.
guards.
And
Yeah.
I made jet bikes using corrugated plastic and all kinds.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh,
It's a different side to it we've never seen.
I'll have to find some pictures.
Yeah, make an effort.
Spice Marines. Yeah, I sold them for a lot of money.
Wow. Probably on 25mm bases as well.
No, they were on the bikey bases.
Oh, bike.
The bike base. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Enough about you.
Dave's just doing our regular out of the box stuff now.
Yeah, no, I'm just, I've not even converted these guys. Not even converted because there's so few models in the army.
Yeah, you haven't got to worry about
I
it.
just might as well do the box guys.
Yeah.
You can't do much converting with them though because the two-handed stuff, the arms are pretty fixed. If you start getting a bit you start messing around with that, it's difficult.
Well, if we go back to previous point, I don't like the 6 big swords. There is a Guardian Spear with one hand.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
And
that
the
always
Storm
helps.
Shield, and he has one hand, obviously. So I have given the guy a Guardian Spear, although he'll count as the sword and shield. I've basically got it for the 3-up in bun.
Yeah.
Are you putting him on a jet bike and calling him a captain and doing 2 more?
No, I am not.
Are you going to use the
yet.
jet bikes at some point?
Yes.
Because they are cool models.
He's the second HQ.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll have a shield captain as actually a leader of an army.
That's controversial.
Yeah. No, he'll be
That's
actually
controversial.
leading Custodes as he was meant to, not 32 blokes for 8 command points.
And a knight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which you spend all the command points on.
Ugh.
That's how this game works, isn't it?
Used to. A few points changes have changed that, and a few keyword changes have also. And also, they brought out the Space Marine Codex, so everyone goes,
So they've
why would I
really-
want those 32 guardsmen?
Yeah, bin them. We've just all painted, sprayed them all black, and called them Iron Hands.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
He will be in the army. I haven't bought him yet. They come in a 3, so I will paint up one as a shield captain, but I will also have them all looking generic, so I could have them as the squad. Because they are very, very good. And they're also very good for capturing points. In an army that has very few models, objective capturing is difficult. So if you've got some fast-moving, durable units that can hit like a brick and actually get people off objectives, they're very good for zooming around the battlefield.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I got done over the Christmas period. So actually, saying it out loud, I actually got a bit more done than I thought.
That's because you tend to say it out loud in a very lengthy, wordy,
I do. I tend
descriptive
to
manner.
In a Jeremy
repeat.
Clarkson kind of way, where 2 words would suffice.
I painted
You've made
Custodian Guard.
power.
Power!
Yeah. That guy, honestly.
But no, I also forget to write it down in the show notes, and then as
This
I'm
is true.
spitballing, there's a key word from the industry there.
Please.
Which industry is that?
Could we just not?
Moving on, Rich.
Yeah,
Rich,
please.
what did you get done? Let's bring it down into reality here.
I did not do any more with the Contrast project. I was supposed to, in my little project plan, because I'm a nerd, finish the bases and then call it all done. But it's been Christmas time. It's been family time, so it wasn't the most sociable thing to do, go and sit in the other room and paint bases. So I used this to kind of do the same sort of thing as you did, Nick, and attack the Dark Uprising box.
Did you have fun with the Clippers as much as I did?
I mean, fun is a strong word. Yeah, sat down in front of the TV. My wife was doing some knitting, so I thought, clipping time. Got the frames out. They're big A4 size frames, hefty plastic, loads of contact points, and I really had to go at it. So I just got the clippers out and basically held them in this orientation and just clipped every piece on this side of the frame, turned it, every piece, turned it, production lined it, and within like 2 hours, I think I clipped everything off the
There's
frame.
14 odd frames in that kit. And as you said, with a gazillion... Is it 16?
It's 15 frames of the Zone Mortalis stuff.
Yes.
15
Yeah.
frames of Zone Mortalis
Yeah.
stuff. You get the
A4.
Necromunda... Yeah, they're big ones, mate.
Yeah.
Necromunda barriers and decorative shit sprue.
Yeah.
And
The pipes. You get
the
the pipe
pipes
and
as
the
well,
pipes.
and a
Yeah.
whole set of pipes.
Yeah.
So you get a lot of terrain in there.
Yeah.
So yeah, clipped it all off, cleaned it all up. Again, like you, scrape. I have an entire... I did it over the actual box it comes in, and there's like a snow-like layer of scrapings at the bottom.
I did
because
exactly
there's
that. I think I cut one out over a
endless-
box as well, just to try and capture the mess. Like the scrapings and the clipping. Yeah. Totally.
Then I had to assemble them all. I watched a couple of videos of people who've done them online of how to go about doing this because you're supposed to, like the towers in the middle, you've got to glue each side together and then you stand it on top of the location plug at the bottom and one at the top. Don't glue them together, but you use those to kind of hold them to the right shape.
Yep.
Let it set and then punch those out and do the next one. So I just did like, again, assembly lined it all the way through. And yeah, it took quite a lot of time. But I then did the same as you and had a bit of a play around with the setups that you can do. You can do so much.
Yeah. I still couldn't
It's-
work out whether I want to do left-hand stairs, straight stairs.
I did a straight stair and a left turn stair.
left-turn stair, yeah.
Because you can do all sorts with the staircases because the staircases are modular. It's the most modular thing they've ever churned out.
It's
nuts.
staircases though, 40k staircases. It's the first ever set of stairs.
Is it? I know they made them so that the gap between the steps is bigger than a base rim, so
Correct.
you can slide the models up each step. So if you make it halfway up the stairs, your model can be halfway up the stairs.
Without wobbly model syndrome and saying,
I
look,
thought
he
about
counts
that.
as being there. Actually, he
I thought
really
about
can
that.
be there.
Nice.
Overall, I felt that actually it assembled really, really well. Like the pieces actually went together in right angles, as opposed to normally when you assemble stuff like that, it's like a parallelogram because you put the plugs in the bottom and the top, it holds it in its shape.
It's so true though.
It's true, isn't it? I've assembled enough stuff. And it's got little tabs, and you're like, oh, that'll be square. It doesn't look square.
No.
then it came to painting it, and I laid it out in front of me, and it fills the dark uprising box. It's massive, and it fills it with pillar after pillar after piece. And I was looking at it, I was thinking, this can take forever to paint.
Yep.
So I followed my own advice and basically ripped off Sol Vince from Instagram again on his how to paint terrain video tips, because
I mean, if you're going to rip off someone that's a terrain painter, he's much
really good.
Pretty much the way to go.
So I primed everything. So I primed everything black except for the pipes and the doors. I primed them in lead. The last bit of lead belch that I had left, because then it was just going to be much faster. And I got a whole bunch of cans, spray cans from a graffiti website, who had a Black Friday deal, and I got them for £3 a can, which I thought was pretty good for colour acrylic paints.
Yikes. That
So
sounds dangerous.
we'll check out the local train station bridges later.
Actually,
And see what we've got.
I can barely draw a stick man, so I'm pretty sure graffiti is beyond me, but sure, why not?
Start tagging trains and stuff.
Absolutely.
Like that, yeah.
So I
Down
wanted
with the kids down there.
Oh, yeah.
I wanted to do the rust effect like I talked about doing with my orcs a long time back, but for them I had something else that I spray painted through to act as a template, but that is long since gunked up and lost. So I made my own template by getting a small piece of MDF, randomly drilling a whole load of holes in it to kind of make it just this mesh of material to put over the pieces, spray through it, and it does random splotchy effects.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
So, because the spray burst is quite big, you can't do like splotchy areas, and sponging the whole thing would take forever. So I sprayed a dark brown, let it dry, sprayed a medium brown, like a reddy brown.
The world's heaviest stencil.
Yeah, basically. It got pretty gunked up through the process, and then once I'd done that, I sponged on just the orange. Because the orange is only a little bit here and there, so doing that sponging wasn't so bad. Got a big piece of sponge, the GW plastic palette, and just went to town doing it really fast to get everything covered. And then everything's dried. I went at it with the sponging of the Maskol, or masking fluid. This is Sol Vince's thing. I used the Vallejo masking fluid, which is way better than the Maskol Humbrol branded stuff that you can get in like Hobbycraft and your hobby stores.
So is this the same effect that people used to do with salt weathering, hairspray?
Yes.
And salt?
Yes, but you've got to
using proper product.
There you've got to spray it with the hairspray. Then you've got to sprinkle the salt on. Then when you're taking it off, you've got to use water to remove it. This I just did the sponging on with the masking fluid, let it dry, which takes like 10-15 minutes. By the time I'd done the whole batch and got it out to the garage, it was all dry. Hit it with the top colour, so I did a yellow on the storage vats, a grey-blue on all the wall pieces, and a tan colour on all the walkways, and let that dry. And then you just rub the masking fluid off, and the chipping just comes off in one go.
Nice.
So I ended up using... You need something that's firm enough to remove the masking fluid, because it does bind quite strongly. Well, the masking fluid doesn't, because you've sprayed it with a spray paint out of a rattle can that is set with quite a solid shell. So to remove it, you've got to kind of put a bit of effort in.
Does it just come off? Do you need any solvent? Or
no, it just
something?
flakes off because it physically rubs off.
Nice.
But the spray paint's quite tough, so you've got to kind of work at it a bit, which is why I went with the compressed cardboard that you get in cotton bud sticks. So I just chop the head off the cotton bud.
Okay.
And that paper, the compressed paper that the stick's made out of, is firm enough to rub off the masking fluid, but not so strong as to actually damage the paintwork underneath.
So you wouldn't recommend cocktail sticks?
Cocktail sticks are too harsh, they'll damage the paintwork. You can get the compressed paper pencils from your art stores, so you just put them in a sharpener, but I just had these cotton buds around, trim the end off, use the end for the hobby tip later, but use the actual paper stick that's left behind to just scrape it all off. It takes about 4 minutes to scrape all the masking fluid off of each piece, so given that it took me 30 seconds to spray paint it and 30 seconds to sponge paint it, because I just went done. I didn't put any details to it, and then put the masking fluid on.
It's a lovely sound for people at home.
Great. Each piece has taken like 6 or 7 minutes to paint,
But you're not painting the computer terminals and the pipes and stuff like that. You're just going area effect. Terrain.
You get a massive contrast between the chipped off paintwork underneath and the colour that's gone over the top, so it looks good. Next up is to go over with some washes to add a bit of recessed shading and kind of break it up a bit. But no, I'm not painting all the pipes and details on the consoles, because there are 12 of those pillars, 8 individual wall pieces, 4 double-sized wall pieces.
Yep.
It's just going to take forever, mate. Like, you'll never get it on the table. So having used those sprays, I used the Cobra brand ones. I tried Montana Gold before, which a lot of people recommend.
Cobra
With a K. It's a graffiti spray can manufacturer. I don't know.
A beer in a Chinese.
No, it's not. It's actually Indian, I think.
Oh, it's Indian beer. Sorry, yeah.
And the problem, the thing is, like, you can't do like a dusting effect with them. I've seen people do it on videos on the internet, on YouTube, but I don't believe that they actually did it in the same way, or it didn't look quite right. I've tried the dusting from a distance. It speckles really badly because it dries before it hits the model. I tried doing it up close, and you've got to work close, and I realise it's because they're designed for people doing graffiti work, right? People from graffiti work don't spray from as far back as we prime models.
Yeah, we
prime 10, 12 inches away.
Yeah.
They're spraying 2-3 inches away. So that's what I started doing. Quick passes, close up, so that you get a nice flat layer. I was going, wow, you flipping YouTube comments and cut in the eye. And it went on really smooth. And for £3 a can, and a can, you know, I haven't even used half a can going through all these terrain pieces, so It goes a long way.
Excellent.
The base tiles that they come on, the zone wall tiles board sections, I primed them grey, did some bursts from a distance with another grey and a brown and a black, just to kind of mottle it a bit, and I've masked off hazard stripes, because, talking about the tile sizes that you were going on about earlier, I want to use mine for Kill Team. Mm-hmm. So Kill Team is not played in the same area as Necromunda. Those 1 by 1 inch, 1 foot by 1 foot tiles are for Necromunda because you play on a 2 by 2 area.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Kill Team is on a 22 by 30 inch area, which is incredibly specific.
So how big are the tiles in the set?
They're exactly 1 foot.
12 by 12, yeah.
So I've got 6 of them, and that makes an area that's too big. Width-wise, it's 24 inches instead of 22, which I'm willing to accept. Length-wise, it's 36 instead of 30, which is quite a lot of extra space. So what I've done is the third
Just mark
tile...
off the 6 inches and have them as deployment zones.
Yeah, so the third tile in on 4 of the tiles, so 3 inches in, I've done I've masked it off to do hazard line spraying on the tile section, so there'll be a deployment zone.
It's the bench for the sin bin.
So it'll look like a deployment zone marking, but it'll also look like it's just part of the terrain because it's hazard striped lines because it's industrial. But it'll show you where the Kill Team area of play ends. But if you want to use it for something else, it won't interfere with play. Like I was thinking about cutting them. Using just one tile and cutting it in half, and I'm like, this is a pain in the backside because of the way it's structured. Just use the spray instead.
And those hazard stripes you've actually stuck up on our Instagram.
Yeah, they come out really well, and it's been a great project to sit and do in bits because Christmas is a time of doing loads of different stuff. You don't get large blocks, we didn't get large blocks of time to sit and do hobby. So like pop into the garage to quickly spend 10 minutes with a spray can and a respirator because I nearly killed myself with fumes. And then popping back in the house, let it dry. It's really good for doing. I've got 10 minutes hobby time here. I'll just sponge the masking fluid on 10 pieces, let them dry, go out and spray them, and doing it in bits and pieces worked out really well. I got loads done. Actual hobby time, like it's a couple of hours so far, and they're all at the stage where they just need a bit of weathering and then they're done.
You could do that in between prepping your Christmas dinner.
Maybe not. No, I like to be laser focused. Christmas dinner time. Yeah, no mucking about.
I like my dad who forgot the parsnips and the and the carrots this year, which were in the oven, and then we had our dinner, and then he went back to the oven and realised that he was missing
parsnips are one of the best bits.
Key parts. Sorry, Dad, but yeah, you ruined Christmas.
You've been rumbled on YouTube. Yeah. Sorry.
He doesn't watch this nonsense.
So yeah, that was my hobby progress, and in 3 weeks I think I actually got quite a lot done.
Yeah.
That's quite voluminous as well. It's not individual figure-wise, but getting terrain done takes a long time.
It's still in stages, so like it's in like 2 boxes. There's just piles of terrain everywhere that I really need to actually tidy up because the house looks like a bomb site.
Yep, my hobby room looks like a bomb site for exactly the same reason.
Yeah. Right, should we get on to talk about GW releases then?
Short section, I think.
Yeah, let's get into it.
Yes. Games Workshop releases. So, apart from the New Year's Open Day, which we'll get to, we've only got one note down as the Primaris Dark Angel bloke.
The bloke, Lazarus.
There we go.
All that talk saying they'd never do Primaris Chaos, and here we are.
And there we are. Yeah. Fabius File has been busy.
He's pretty cool, and he comes to options as well, which I really like. A lot of the special character things they've done, like the sergeant who has he's got his helmet under his arm or whatever. All those Primaris characters are
Amadeus, something like that.
Whatever. They've all had single pose, no choices. This guy's got
single
a weapon
weaponry.
option and a helmet option, so you can go helmeted or non-helmeted.
Yes.
And some of these poses look like they've been recycled a little bit as well. Has anyone noticed that some of
I mean, how many different ways?
there
can
aren't that many
can a Space
heroic-looking poses you can do. But
He's a space
ran out of
he's a space
options.
marine that's going to be with a sword or a power fist and a helmet
Yeah.
or pointy hand. That's pretty much all they do.
A lot of people are complaining on the internet, because it's the internet, that they've allowed a Primaris into the inner circle, because it's supposed to be, Primaris are from the outside because they're new, introduced, and the inner circle is the secretive nonsense that the Dark Angels like to do.
Back from the rock and all that kind of stuff. And
I mean,
they won't know.
They weren't from Canada.
they weren't there, man. They weren't there.
They weren't there.
They weren't there, man.
But you've got a good stat line, so you're in.
I think it's cool that GW are basically just continuing to do what they want to do, despite the fact that some fanboys might complain about it.
Are you saying they are rewriting the fluff?
Yes, to suit the models. Who would ever have thought they'd do that?
I don't know.
Well, you know the Ultramarines, they're in the Victrix Guard now. There's more Primaris in the Victrix Guard than there are
Oh, really?
old school Marines now.
Good, because old
So-
school Marines are awful.
So I've been listening to the audiobooks for Dark Imperium and Plague Wars, which is the one that follows it.
All right, yeah.
So it's the return of Rabute Gilliman after all the Primaris models have come out, and then facing down Mortarion in the
cool.
end. So there's all that going
Spoiler.
on in the Ultramar system. Most of his Victrix Guard, a fair number of his Victrix Guard, are now Primaris.
Okay.
So it's the integration. What did they call them? The Grey Shields before they were put into chapters
Yes.
and stuff. So it's all about the integration of that. It's a really good listen.
Okay.
Highly recommend it. So that's my commute listen. So I can see why the inner circle of the hierarchy of some of the other chapters are going to start.
Unsure about.
I'm waiting for like Wolfguard to perhaps start getting Primaris Wolfguard.
Well, they did it with. There was the massive uproar because they gave Blood Angels access to Primaris Death Company.
Yes.
But they are still made from the. Even though Belisarius Crawl tried to kind of clean it up and make things go right, genetic material is genetic material, and it's not perfect.
They've still got the
It's a
red
flaw.
rage. Yeah.
New Year's Open Day, Dave. What did we get from that, though? You mentioned it.
So,
I didn't even know it was happening. That's how much awareness I'm paying to what's going on.
So I had seen a very grainy picture of a Tau Commander that I had very nicely converted. And out comes at 9:30 a.m. GMT.
Yep.
Out comes Shadow Sun, the reworked Shadow Sun, updated model in plastic. Because my one is in Finecast and I freaking hate it.
Yep, it's fine cast.
But yeah, suddenly she is bigger, is in a much more dynamic pose.
Been through the Rubicon.
Yeah, has one of those. Has one of those cool heroic bases that all characters seem to have now.
She's got 4 arms.
And she's not a Space Marine.
It's General Grievous with the 2 arms that become 4 and has got more weapons and trackers and missiles.
She's still got the 2 fusion blasters,
which is cool.
Yep.
And she's putting one of them sideways.
New,
like a
new
badass.
drones as well. Are they new drones? She's got new tactical ability. They're not just shield or gun drones.
No, they're fancy
new
drones.
things.
Well, no, she had the 2
had them anyway.
weird drones before, but they have been reworked. And they look a lot more similar to each other than the old ones did. The old one had like a big fin, and the other one was like a small marker drone, I think.
Yeah.
But no, she looks really cool. A lot bigger because my Shadow Sun model is the size of a guardsman.
Yeah, she's the
I've
same
got
size as
a-
the old stealth suits, right?
Yeah, I've got a flying because she was originally positioned on top of a rocket or a bit of debris on a base. So I just cut that away and stuck a rod
In her suit.
Yeah. Thank you.
Leave it at that.
I was going somewhere else there, but yeah, it was.
Don't do the hand gesture, Dave.
That's when people stop watching the video and go to the audio format.
Yes.
But yeah, there is a big rod in her back attached to her base, so it looks like she's flying. I think I can do the same thing with the same base with this new model.
Okay.
Because she looks like she's flying.
Yeah, they've done a really good job of keeping it dynamic.
It's dynamic, very dynamic, yeah.
So I think I could pick this up, paint it up, and replace it as the Shadow Sun's rules, but I didn't have it as Shadow Sun because they're like a lost colony.
Yeah.
But the rules with the 2 fusion blasters are really cool. So yeah, I really like it.
I've never been a huge Tau fan, so it's just another Tau suit to shoot at. Another Xenos race. I mean, I know that Finecast is awful, so anything that replaces that is good.
I mean, people are still going to complain the minute another Space Marine model comes out, the Xenos don't get anything, despite the fact they just got a new model. But
yes.
Yeah, well.
I mean, this is the longest the Imperium has gone without a new model in.
Speaking of new Imperial models,
Sisters of Battle.
Oh, that statue.
Oh,
I want it for my table, man.
Mr.
Big
Terrain.
time.
Who you could have put that in the middle of your cathedral
Much.
terrain?
I'm not replacing the Space Marine statue that's there because one, it's glued down,
They can be
and
married.
two, it's very. Come on, man.
Cake top.
No, I think that I just have it as like a separate piece that you can kind of. Put
I'm totally on board with that
It's so
terrain
good.
piece. I'm
So good.
I'm a big
so
terrain
good.
fan, so I definitely want that to add to my collection of.
Although it does look like
statues.
she's halfway through changing into her battle armour, because the top half is all armoured and the lower half is all in robes with her bare legs.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so she's like in the middle of.
It's the Living Saint. You're going to argue?
No.
I wonder what it was, because it has rules in the Codex. So we've seen it in the Codex as part of the Sister Battle box, but there was no inclusion of a picture of the model.
So is it like just a?
It's a terrain feature.
It's a terrain feature with an aura kind of
Yeah,
thing.
it's an
gonna
aura
give you-
effect from a fortification slot, and
Yeah.
it gives you some cool rules.
They'll probably do
Iconic
something
Witch.
with the magic dice, whatever they're called. What are the special dice that you get?
Miracle
dice.
It might do something with that. Morale and stuff like that is normally what.
Funny you
Speaking
should
of
say
Miracle
that.
Dice.
Talking of miracle dice, so I looked at the notes and I thought that's a segue right there.
Yeah. Oh, you've played this game.
I've played this game before.
Those
Absolutely.
dice.
Yeah, New Sisters of Battle dice.
What are they?
They are different religious iconography that, like Thirdly and different things, with slight hints at what number they might be. They are not as bad. They are not as bad as the Wood Elf ones that came out, the Sylvaneth ones, which had branches and they had to count the number of leaves on the branch to see what the dice number was. That was stupid.
No, the Death Guard where you had to count the number of pustules.
Of pustules that were sticking out, yeah.
That was.
They're cool for miracle dice though. 'Cause you don't have to roll. You have to roll it once and then you just put it to one
and then you
side.
put it
So
to
it's
the
a
side.
bit, it's a bit better.
You roll it once, go
What's that?
5.
And then every turn you want to use a miracle dice, you have to go and reference your pool of dice and still try and work out what
They
hell
look
are.
really cool. I don't think they function very well as
No,
dice.
these themed
Which
dice,
is the current system that they're going with,
the
right?
themed dice have been so bad recently.
Yeah.
They are a cool idea, but you can't see what numbers they are.
No.
Why not just put an icon on the 6 and just be
And
done
be done
with it?
yeah.
There's one thing worse than you using those dice though. It's when your opponent uses them and then rolls them and goes, yeah, 5s.
And you're like, so hang on a
What was
minute.
that?
They were? Really? Yeah.
You just killed my knight
No, no.
with that Gretchen. Like,
They do 6s, though.
yeah, well, how do you, well, so
How do you know?
The 6s are the only ones you can bloody see because they've got the pictures on them.
Anyway.
No, but they also revealed the Retributors
Yes.
and the Zephyrim.
They did.
Yes. They are looking pretty cool. The
Yeah.
Retributors are really good. I think you get quite a lot of weapon options.
They
They've
are
done,
the Devastator squad.
The Devastator
aren't they?
squad, and they have done, I think, you get a mixture of weapons in the unit, which normally is a problem. If you have, like the Devastators for Space Marines, for example, didn't have 4 las cannons, didn't have 4 missile launchers, because you want to kind of put all of the same thing in.
Yeah.
But the Sisters actually reward you for you having a unit with mixed weapon options, because there is a stratagem for if you fire with a unit that has like a bolt, melter, and flamer weapon in it, you get a bunch of bonuses.
Oh.
So it actually encourages you to have those mixed weapon units.
Although mixed weapons
It's
in
far more
Devastator squads
target,
used to be a thing because you wanted to range match and you could only ever shoot one target.
Right, okay.
Now
yeah,
with
yeah.
8th edition with split
Split fire, yeah.
I think it's less of an
Less of an
impact
issue, yeah.
because you're not wasting stuff that isn't in range.
Yeah, I think it's because you have the heavy flamer, which is a move up and shoot weapon, with multi-melters, which is stand back and shoot. So
Yeah.
there's a bit of a conflict there, but they look cool.
I think
so.
they still work better in
Yeah.
8th than they've with the whole split fire.
For
Everyone
sure.
can split fire thing, so not as bad, but don't you just take flamers and melters regardless for sisters?
Yeah, definitely, they look cool.
Yeah.
But apart from that, I don't think, for 40k at least, there wasn't too much else.
Well,
Right, do you want to cover your game versus Glenn then, Nick?
I do.
Let's get into it.
So, you played our friend Glenn.
I did. So the Monday before Christmas.
What number was that? I've lost track of how days and dates align.
22nd-ish, I
20,
guess.
23rd, because it's my
23rd.
birthday.
Oh, of course, yes.
Yeah.
Wow, giving the game away.
So normally I do record back reps and stuff on my channel, but I couldn't be bothered. And also chapter approved 29, so I was guaranteed to get everything wrong
Oh, yes.
Oh,
and
yes.
then invite a comments barrage of you did it
But
all
the
wrong.
internet would have been very kind to you.
Have you seen the internet on battle reports?
This is why we don't run a YouTube
Yes,
channel.
so this was the
This as well.
So this was my first Chapter Approved 2019 game.
Yeah.
I wanted to experiment with the points change, so I ran my Zinch
Yep.
Demons because they've had some interesting changes.
We're not going to get into that.
Won't get into all
Why?
the points changes, no worries about that. I will do a future video on my channel where I will cover what impact it had on my Zinch forces.
If you want me to come on and scream as to why that happened, feel
Yes,
free.
no problem at all. Glenn ran his Ultramarines. We played 1750 and we played one of the new Maelstrom missions. as well.
Nice.
Ooh.
Love a new mission.
So the new missions, for those that haven't played, you turn into Magic the Gathering and you start doing deck building.
Ooh.
Ooh.
So what's your favourite card in the deck, Rich?
Well, it's not
Wisdom and the
domination.
Ancients.
It's not Domination, is it?
It's not stratagems.
No, the
Smarts.
objective cards. Domination is everyone's favourite, where you've got to secure all 6 in one turn.
Yeah, screw that.
Screw that. So that's the one that always goes in the bin. So this,
Slay the
the
Heretic.
new format for
Delight the
all of the
Witch.
new format missions
Yeah.
is a minimum of 18 cards,
Oh, okay, right, yeah.
and you can pick your cards after you've seen your opponent's army list.
Ooh.
Okay.
So if they don't have flyers,
You can ditch
ditch
flyers,
that. If they don't
yeah,
have stuff
okay.
over 10 wounds for the
Yeah,
Monster Hunter thing.
Yeah,
That makes sense. Scouts,
no, if they haven't
guys.
got if you're playing Necrons and haven't got Psychers, you
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
take Kill the Psyker. So you can pick and choose. You have to have a minimum of 18.
Always take Kill the Psyker.
Once you've achieved it, that card's gone.
Okay.
So you don't recycle those cards in the bottom of the deck. So whether you want 18, will you score all 18 in your turn? But equally, you know what's roughly coming up. You still shuffle the deck,
Yeah.
so you're not pre-building the deck
Yeah.
based on where the objectives are.
No,
or
you're just
anything like
rigging
that.
the rough outcome in your favour.
Yes, so stuff that you will definitely score.
Yeah, okay.
So you're going to keep all the defend objectives, all the secure
Yeah, yeah.
objectives, and then all the stuff that will suit your playstyle.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. So we did that. I think I didn't get rid of that many cards, to be honest, because I could achieve
Because
most
your
of them at
army's so
some
good.
point.
Oh.
Zinch Demons are so they're top tier. Those you always see them in the big tournaments.
Net
But-
list.
Yeah, net listing Zinch Demons. Nobody does that. But I did run out my big chickens. So the
Okay,
Lord
yeah.
of Change and Kairos, which I've painted this
Ooh.
year, not been used before.
I did see that actually, because I
Uh-huh.
watched your 2019 year in review.
Oh, thank you very much. Yes. So yeah, there were two things that I wanted to give a run out. They've dropped in
research.
points by a fraction. Your favourite unit that I take in my Zinch Demons, Rich, the Flamer Bomb.
No, it's the exalted flamers that can do one.
The Exalted Flamers are in there as well. They've dropped by like 20 points as well, the Exalted Flamers. But regular Flamers came down as well in points, and you run those with a Herald and then you deep strike those. And
Why? Just
because you're facing Ultramarines and who in cover.
He's got a point.
That is fair. Actually,
That's-
that is fair
And
because
the net result of dropping in turn 2, I won't go into the full details of the game, but it was 1750, Ultramarines versus Zinch Demons. You know, we played one of these, so the mission was you draw 5 cards,
okay, yeah.
and then you draw a further 3, which you show to your opponent, and they can say, can you get rid of that one to the bottom of your deck?
Oh, okay. So it deprioritises.
So it deprioritises
Okay.
the things, and then from those 5, you pick 3 that you put into play for that battle round.
Oh, that's
Ooh.
really interesting.
Yeah. So you can sit there and go, do you know what? I might get to that objective
Yeah.
in 2 turns' time. I'm going to bank that.
I might get domination.
Yeah.
Said no one ever.
So no,
Yeah.
whatever. But you can also then place one of those cards face down so your opponent doesn't know what it is.
Ah, okay.
So if you've got a secure objective or a particular target you want to
Yeah.
kill, and you don't want them to know what that is because there's reasons for that. So they might spend command points on re-rolling saves for it, or
Yeah,
they might
yeah.
do something strategically that protects that because they know that you're going to score points.
okay.
If you've got it face down, they don't know that.
Okay.
So there's some really cool little tactical tricks that you can play with that.
It sounds confusing, but I'm sure it's a bit easier when
It
you're
was a
playing.
little bit confusing. I think the more you play it, the more slick it will become.
Right.
Okay.
So we did that, and yeah. So I ran the 2 big chickens, which the psychic powers in the Zinch Demons list are pretty terrible. So you've basically got high toughness, high wound counted smite sticks,
Yeah.
and they do increment on the smite count. You know, it's not like Brotherhood of
Brotherhood,
Sorcerers and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
It's still
yeah.
5, 6, 7, 8, but
Yeah.
most Zinch characters get like a plus bonus as part of their stat line
Yeah.
to cast. So all I did was run around smiting a lot. And at the end of the game, it was exceptionally close because you're playing the mission now. You're not playing just a wipe people out. You're playing to your cards.
Yeah.
So you're doing things that you would never typically do.
So you had a chance against Ultramarines.
So I had a chance against Ultramarines. And talking of that Zinch Demon Bomb, which is a favourite little trick of mine, with flickering flames. You know,
So
you know
they hit on 2s, or wound on
hit
2s,
automatically, wound on
2s.
9d6 shots. Yeah.
Just get my flashbacks now.
Yeah, right.
So it's a nice little trick, but against Ultramarines in cover, kill one.
Oh.
Ooh. What did you go against?
They were against Hellblasters.
You want to get rid of those.
But yeah, Glenn was running his aggressors, but he did only run 3.
Yeah, good lad.
Good lad, Glenn.
Three
Shout
aggressors.
Well, Glenn.
to Glenn. Thank
Not
you very
6
much.
aggressors, Bill.
Yeah, Bill. Yeah. No, they were sensible lists. I don't think they were.
Just sat home like, what?
When we played sort of just to see what the difference was, my models had come down in a fair few points. Ultramarines haven't really changed
As they just
because I think every faction's being balanced against Marines now.
Yes,
So
that's
they
the
haven't-
new checkpoint.
That seems to be the checkpoint. So, but yeah, very close game, and it came down to just 1 point.
Oh, that's good.
So in my favour, I might add, but it was like 13-12 or 14-13, something like that. Very close because you are playing specifically to the cards in your hand. Plus, you can now pick and choose the cards,
Yeah.
and you can actually burn those 5 cards and take 4 new ones.
For a command point, I take it.
I think they might be for a command point.
Yeah, it's
I can't
gotta be,
remember.
yeah.
But you
So you're
can
not
burn the
limited
lot.
to 1.
But you do get 1 less for
That's called a mulligan if you want to make magic references.
or golf reference.
Is it?
It's a golf reference.
I know that golf is involving hitting a stick with a ball with a
Sport
stick.
ball. Yeah, sport
Putting it the
ball.
right way around. That's my problem. I've been putting the stick down and hitting it with the ball.
Yes.
This is what I work with.
I know, it's terrible. Sports. But yeah, very, very good game. Some interesting moments. My Zinch Demons did charge forward and do not a lot in combat and stuff. It was all down to some good shooting and smites. Not that many perils, which was nice to see from
This time.
this time. Again, and compared to...
Yes, God, that was painful to watch.
Right, peril was
Jeez.
nearly every turn.
Yeah.
Double one, and when I didn't need it, 6. Excellent. But no, very close game because you are playing to cards that you know that you can achieve.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
I think it made for a very different type of game. You're not sitting there going, I'm just going to kill that unit, I'm just going to do that and then jump on objective. And
Yeah.
you're now playing to that deck and you know what potentially is coming up.
Mm-hmm.
And equally, when you show your cards and your opponent gets you to deprioritise one, you know that's not potentially coming up until turn 6.
But it will come back around at some
It will
point.
come back around, but it's going to be
Yeah.
very late in the game. So
Yeah.
you know that if something like that, if like Kingslayer is burnt, and that's worth quite a lot of points because
Yeah,
it's
it's
slay the
D3.
Warlord and
It's
everything
D3
else.
plus
So
1, yeah.
it's worth a few points. If you lose that card, that's bad news. But it means that you can then reprioritise what you're going to do in the game.
Yeah.
Very nice. So, you played that in 2019.
I did.
Do you want to have a look back at your 2019 highlights?
Sure.
Let's do it.
Let's do that. So 2019 highlights for me. First off, humble brag moment
Go for it.
is the Hallows Gate campaign.
Yes.
But basically, it was an idea to get to expand our gaming friends a little bit.
Yeah.
Because we quite often play against each other. See a lot of the battle reports in this channel is mostly against you, Rich.
Yeah.
So we've got some other friends from Warzone Warlock 40k. So yeah, the campaign is 10 players, 5 a side. So we have an Imperium side and a Chaos/Drakari alliance.
The spiky
on
side.
The spiky side.
The spiky
boys.
side.
It's a chaotic faction as opposed to the chaos
Yes,
faction.
that was why I was
chaotic.
calling it chaotic.
Yes.
Yes.
But it's an escalating format, so we started off with Kill Team.
Yep.
We then moved into a Combat Patrol, which was ripped out of a GW campaign weekend.
Yep.
We then moved into 1,000 points. Our next games are 2,000 points.
So the Imperium got smashed at
Yes.
Kill Team and at
Combat Patrol.
Combat Patrol. Well, who's actually played games out of 1,000 points then?
I have,
I have.
because I played Dave.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I have.
Yeah, so the Imperium's on the up.
Yes.
I believe at the point of recording, it's
Come
2-1 to the
We've
Imperium.
got to claw it back. We've got to claw it
we
back.
the two-
Spoilers here.
We are the two.
Yeah.
You are the two that have won. So yeah, it's been an escalating format set in the Hallows Gate, which was a fictitious system in the lead up to the Vigilus system,
Don't call
which
it
is the
that.
official books
Yeah.
about the only passage between the Cicatrix Maledictum.
It's to cross the Cicatrix
Yes.
Maledictum. That's the warp rift across.
Between the dark side and the light side. And nothing
the
to do
Dark
with Star Wars.
Imperium and
Yes.
the rest of the
The
Imperium.
Light Imperium.
So that's the format. So it's supposed to be setting the armada up to go and come into Vigilus. So all the factions are represented, which is quite convenient because Vigilus has everything there.
Yep.
Just so they can sell models, maybe. But that's the format. That's the format. But equally, we're playing it in a narrative way, but with match play points.
Yep.
Because that's fair. So we're not seeing Abaddon the Despoiler appear at 1,000.
Not yet.
Not yet. Or Araman appearing at 1,000, and stuff like that. So we're taking lesser characters. And then we're just progressing through. Hopefully we're going to finish with an apocalypse game.
That would be sick.
Venue, TBC and all that kind of stuff, because it's 9 players around the table.
You need a lot of space.
Need a lot of space, a lot of time to be able to do that, but we are running about a month behind. So
we're way behind, mate.
Do it in the summer and do it outside.
That'll do it, yeah. So that's what's going on with that. So that was my highlight, was organising that, and it is herding cats, let's be honest.
Yeah,
might get sidelined. If anyone watching has been part of a WhatsApp group, then one message will be relevant, and the rest are just
gifs
and memes,
gifs and crap.
Yeah, but it's been good fun to organise. We've introduced some, new blood into the local gaming group, which has been good fun to play with.
Good.
You guys have appeared on Warzone Morlock 40k.
Yep.
So has Dave. Three.
Just call him Dave for right. Dave. Just call him Dave. Dave
loves painting on Instagram. Yeah. So he's been over there. I'm hoping to go there. I think we might do my 2K against Bill.
Nice.
Which would be cool. Which would be nice. So that's been a highlight. And then from a painting wise, I've had a load of models that have sat on my desk or in a cupboard for many months. In fact, years in some cases. And getting them actually finished.
No pun intended, some cases.
So yeah, I'm not talking the Warlord here, I'm talking the Changeling, the Blue Scribes conversion I did. Araman I've had since I bought my 1,000 Suns, which was 2.5 years ago.
Have you only just painted him?
I've only just painted him. I bought him, he was one of the first models.
Yeah.
Did you not have him before? Like, as in painted?
I had him in the Dark Heresy kit, the 30k. I had the 30k one, then I bought the new 40k one on the disc.
And you've never painted it up?
Nope. Oh. I painted Exalted Sorcerers, but never Aaron.
Clearing your backlog is a real feel.
Yeah, it's a nice. And then, as I mentioned earlier about in that game, was the Lord Change and Kairos Fateweaver.
Nice.
Again, I mean, one kit that I bought second hand off of an internet trading group, and he'd already pre-built it into the one I'd conveniently, accidentally built the other version because it's a single.
Yeah, it's a
2 model kit.
Yeah.
So yeah, I bought a load of second-hand Zinch Demons for serious discount. And finally got around to painting those, and I did follow Warhammer TV's guide on pretty much both of those, to be honest.
Cool.
So, our former Lord and Saviour Duncan, who has moved on to pastors new.
For me, the grief is still too near. Let's just.
Have you seen? He's been doing Perry miniatures. Ugh, what's all that? He's doing historicals. Anyway, moving swiftly back to my hobby progress. Get clearing stuff that's been sat around for ages. And I also wanted to make sure, because I've been doing like a Tactica series on 1,000 Suns and Zinch stuff.
Yeah.
And I couldn't do stuff. I'm not ripping the internet for images. I'm using my own painted stuff.
So you need to have a good.
So it's a good motivation for my own videos and stuff to actually paint the models and photograph.
You've got to stick to a schedule, man.
Yeah. I'd love to be able to stick to a schedule, but shiny model syndrome always takes over. So, but I finally got to use him. In fact, I used the Changeling in that game as well with the Lord of Change, and he did absolutely nothing. He sucks.
That's because he used to be broken and is now balanced.
He used to be broken and now he just does nothing.
Yeah.
Or does he?
Well, he fits in.
Maybe in 3 games' time it'll come up, Nick.
Yeah.
Maybe.
The way Zinch works.
But either way,
one of Glenn's models' arms will fall off. We're like, see?
Yeah.
WYSIWYG, he's got no gun.
-1 to hit.
But yeah, that was pretty much me for 2019.
So, when we've come to highlights, we have taken the podcast as a whole into account rather than our individuals.
Yeah.
So, do you want to kick off with the first one? Because this was all you. I won't take any credit
It wasn't
for
all
this.
me. I think
from us, from our point of
so
view.
from the highlight of 2019 for me was being part of the couple of people that organised and really drove the Tanks for Frank project. So our friend Tom, who's part of the Hallow's Gate campaign, a very close friend of his little boy, unfortunately was diagnosed with leukemia. We're in the UK, we're fortunate enough that he gets treated by the NHS, but what he doesn't get is all the other support that goes around having to fight through such a horrendous condition. So we wanted to do something. Well, Tom wanted to do something, and he said, "Could we do something as a local community group to do like a hobby project to raise some funds?" Which we thought was a great idea. So we all bought and painted a tank. We did a tank company, Tanks for Frank, because his nickname is Frank the Tank, so it seemed perfect. We did Steel Legion because Duncan had an incredibly good painting video. I was saying, Duncan, why? He did an incredibly good painting video, and it was something that
always be in the YouTube archives.
I know. It came out of a can. It was super easy to replicate, and we thought this looks cool. People will want to own a tank company. We can raffle it off. And make some money for great cause. It was a pain in the backside to set up the requirements in order to run the raffle. Because we're not running a physical raffle, we're running an electronic one. We had to meet a lot of legal requirements and loopholes, which drove me bonkers. So our friend Alex managed to bail me out because he knows about these things. And overall, it was a massive success. I mean, we hit our £1,000 target in less than 24 hours, which was mad. And over the course of the month, we ended up raising £2,700. £1,300 went to the family to help support them because they had to take time off from being self-employed. And the rest of the money went to the hospital ward, which they used to buy equipment and some electronic devices and things for providing the kids entertainment and educational materials while they're in there, because they got to go in for their sessions. Sometimes they're in for a few days at a time. They've got a whole bunch of tablets to mean that they can basically catch up on their studies and stuff like that, and do fun things while they're there. So yeah, it was really good, and felt like we actually achieved something as a group.
We did. It was 17 tanks, I think, in total. 2 super heavies.
Yeah, and 15 Russes,
15 Russ variants.
Chimera equivalents, So yeah, it was a really good project, and everybody locally got involved in doing something, and we had immense support from the hobby community. People were sending, buying these tickets from all over the world, completely trusting that we were doing something that was legit. Which I was surprised about. I thought people would be a bit more reticent, but
people giving money without actually wanting to enter as well. Look, I don't want a ticket, just have some money to support it. And
so it was a really, really great project. And
we did full legit it as well. We got the license.
Yes,
and
it was a lottery license to get the local lottery license. But
crazy, but that's what you have to do to be 100% these days.
Next up.
You're getting excited about this, aren't you?
I am, and I kind of don't want to follow such a nice story with something about us, but we were approached back in...
May? No.
Summer?
Summertime.
Around the summertime. We were approached by Dave from Mini Wargaming.
Yes.
Or Chaos Dave, as he is.
You actually explained 3 times to me who he was and why you were so pumped.
Yeah.
You're like, it's Dave, and I'm like... You're Dave, and you're like, no, it's Dave, and I was like, you're like Mini Wargaming Dave, and I'm like,
that's the issue with. So he messaged us on a well-known social media site, starting with an F and ending with Facebook.
So subtle.
So it comes up with his actual name.
Yeah.
Of course, his actual name is not how he goes by on the channel. we know him as Chaos Dave or Mini Wargaming Dave.
Yeah.
So he sent us this lovely message and approached us to being on the podcast.
Yeah, it was great.
He said he'd listened to the show and
tolerated it and
and he reached out and he said let's do a collaboration. So you're not the most famous person on our channel.
Sorry.
They do have like nearly 300,000 subscribers.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? Like mad.
And a whole building.
I think Mini Wargaming have something similar as well.
But no, it was a great interview. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
He's the nicest person on earth.
He's very engaging.
You could say that again. And he's really nice, and he seems to have time for everyone. And he was really pumped up about the community and all the different projects they had coming up. He was running sort of live action campaigns. So for those people that don't know about Mini Wargaming, they're a big Mini Wargaming channel on YouTube.
Yeah, they're a company now in effect.
They're a company, they have their own property.
So they had just purchased this property in Canada where they're based, and they have bunks and all sorts, so you can actually stay over there now. And
It's crazy, yeah.
And he was talking to us about sort of LARPing and other events like the
Gorka Morka one where they did a build and paint and play for a whole week.
and a Resident Evil campaign where they would like wake them up in the middle of the night and stuff for like zombie apocalypse stuff.
Yeah,
It
sounds
was
pretty cool.
Sounded awesome. I think he's got a Fallout one coming as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, I remember saying about that.
And he's just so enthusiastic about the hobby. Like, you can feel it when he talks. Like,
How many points of Chaos Marines did he say he had? It was
Oh,
like
it was
18,000,
ridiculous.
20,000
It was
points,
ridiculous.
something.
Something like that.
yeah.
But I think the thing that fascinated me about the interview the most was when you said about what is the hobby to you now. It's not cleaning sprues and painting and assembling models anymore. It was more about creating content is his hobby
and community interaction.
and community interaction. So
Yeah.
they've got studio armies and they've got people that paint for them and
Yeah.
everything else, and they're now his hobby is now like editing videos and community outreach and setting up this new company and doing all the bits and
Luckily for
pieces they
him,
do.
he likes it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So it's not about painting and everything else anymore. It's content production. So it's a different side of wargaming community, which I thought was an interesting take. Really, when you get to that kind of scale, that this is your source of income, is it valid for you to spend time painting a squad of Space Marines?
Not unless you really wanted to do it. No, not for the. Not
You'll
for
do that
business.
in your
Yeah, yeah.
own time,
Yeah.
not in your financial revenue generating time, which is all about content creation for big channels like that.
Yeah, and he was super engaging, really nice, and down to earth.
Yeah. And last up, we had a little visit. Should we say visit?
Yeah.
We had a little visit across to Bill from Warzone Morlock and got to play an actual game on YouTube. I've been in a few of your games now,
You have.
and Dave has.
I was
This
in my
was-
debut a few weeks ago.
You were, but
This was that's quite a relaxed environment. We're having a fun game and filming. It was surprising at Bill's to see.
He's a taskmaster. It was horrible.
No, he's
It was an
not.
awful experience.
He bought us sandwiches, Nick. Nudge, nudge. No,
I
it was,
provide snacks. What are you on about?
it was
Actually,
just.
I had some mini cheddars.
It was a
Okay.
wildly different experience trying to play Dave and I together in a coordinated fashion, having to think about everything we said and did. This was something that I don't think either of us are prepared for, because when we play 40k, we're generally larking about.
Yeah.
Having to know what we're doing, and we failed miserably. Thanks YouTube comments.
This guy wants to bash him with a skull.
Yeah, it was
They're
a
going
very,
to run
very
off the
different
objectives.
experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, talking about a game when you're playing a game
Is one thing.
is very
But-
different to doing it for a battle report. So
Yeah.
people can be, because you're supposed to be entertaining the viewing audience. If you just play it the way you would play like at home,
Well, that we did. That was the problem.
Yeah,
we
it's
didn't know what we
like-
were doing.
Didn't know what you were doing, but yeah, it's a very different way of playing. It's not very different, but it's a different experience.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Though.
Between turns, he'd be like, "Okay, so what are you going to do in this shooting phase?" And we'd be like,
Shoot things. He's like,
"They'll shoot them. They'll shoot them,
and then we'll come back to it after.
and they'll shoot them."
And then
we'd
we're
be
like, no, Dave, they've already shot them.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, right, okay.
And you got to play against Steve the Bird Lion Man.
I did.
We did. We actually coined that name.
I'm quite jealous because that's now stuck.
Yeah, it
It
has.
has stuck. Steve the Bird Lion Man.
Is a thing. So that was 2019. What are we going to do going forward, though? 'Cause we love to talk about going forward. If we're going to talk about business terms, Dave.
Yeah.
2020.
Compartmentalised.
Oh, it's just
2019.
It's called siloing.
Oh, what
Come
was
on.
it?
Come on,
No.
siloing, Dave.
Compartmentalising.
I don't do any of this in my work.
No.
You work for an American company.
I
sure.
know, but we don't use silly
fair
words
enough.
like that.
Oh, we do. Yeah, so looking forward to 2020.
Yes.
Again, kick us off. What have you got coming up on the channel? Because your channel follows your own hobby. So what have you got coming up?
Yeah, that's
In
it
life.
really. Is yeah, my channel is me and my hobby. It's not focused on one particular thing. If I'm doing Aeronautica one week, I'm doing Titans the next week. It's a real eclectic mix, which is an interesting way of doing it. But for 2020, I've kind of broken my goals into 9. Not that has anything to do with Zinch.
I'll say you
The
spin a Zinch project.
The magic,
What's going
the
on
magic
here?
number is. But I've basically said, right, 9 months of the year I will do hobby, because there'll be some burnout, there'll be work travel trips, there'll be vacation time and stuff like
Yeah.
that, and that kind of reduces maybe 3 months of your life. So I gave myself 9 months, which meant 9 projects.
Ooh, a month per project.
Wow.
That is
Tight.
Well,
9 months, one project.
This is what 3 days, 3 models for you. Come on,
Yeah.
you've got to keep 365 custodians by the end of the year.
Yeah.
No, so but
That's like 365,000 points.
yes, but with my projects, most of them are started in some way of a fashion.
Okay.
So it's a lot of finishing stuff. So I really enjoyed finishing some of those models in 2019. Something like that I wanted to do again for this year. So my Tzeentch Demons, which I built to around about 4,000-ish points, was the target.
Okay, it's quite a lot.
It's quite a lot. So there's still a few models still to finish off in there. I've got some Pig Horrors. I've got another Lord of Change, which I bought off of Ian because he was selling it cheap.
You always need one more.
I had 18 more Screamers because I bought 3 Start Collecting box sets because I wanted all
with your ears.
So you ended up with a load of Screamers.
The Screamers look cool.
They look cool.
They do.
They
don't do anything.
They're 23 points model and they suck.
They do.
They just get shot off the board.
They fly over and do more.
No, they get killed before that.
They get killed way before that happens. I've got a couple of Heralds because you get that in the Start Collecting box set, and an Exalted Flamer because you get that in the Start Collecting. All I did was focus on the...
Yeah, I know, man. I'm just like...
So I'll have 3, Rich, in our next game. Is that all right?
Yeah, sure.
Oh,
3,000.
I feel really sick.
Captain Artemis, feel free to charge anytime. That was 3 6s on Overwatch.
It was grim.
Yeah, but they're all built, they're all primed. Most of them have got some form of colour on, so I don't see that as a big project. That won't take a month, but it does add to 900 points.
Okay.
I have actually
900 points.
I've already
a month.
and we are on what date are we on? The 5th.
Yeah.
And I've already finished the 15 Pig Horrors.
Wow, you are motoring.
So that's been over the last 3 days.
Has that made you regret making your own custom bases?
Yes.
Right, thought so.
Yes.
Moving on.
I was thinking that when I was watching your
15
video.
models, a total of 120 points.
So here's a question.
So moving on to the 1,000 Suns, I've got 10 Rubric, 10 Scarab Occult, another Forge World Decimator, but with the Butcher cannons this time, not the auto-mortal winding sick camera.
More Scarab Occult. You got 10 more Scarab Occult Terminators.
I do.
10 more.
10 more. Yeah.
Why'd you have so many?
I bought the Kill Team box because I wanted the cool tokens.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And that's an elite box.
The elite one, yeah.
Which comes
bought
with
it for the
5.
tokens.
I bought it, I actually wanted.
It comes with terrain in it
The
as well,
terrain
yeah,
pieces,
yeah.
which I want to use for my Titan bases.
They're really good value, those. Well, then they did them, those box sets.
Yes. So that ended up with 5 more Scarab Occult, which come in the blue plastic, which is cool. 1 more Demon Prince as well.
Nice.
Just because. Again, that's about 1,000 odd more points. But most are built. Most have got some paint on of some kind. Like the Decimator's built but not primed. The Demon Prince, I think, is the only thing that's not even started. But I've got a good format for airbrushing that, which is what I've used on the other 2. But I might build this guy with the axe instead of the talons, which is what everyone
Oh,
uses.
yes.
Yeah.
Just for a bit of variety. Otherwise,
Yeah.
I'm going to end up with 3 with the
They all got the same.
pointy hands. So that's my second project. My third one is to add to my Imperial Fist Primaris Force.
Oh, nice.
So I've made a good start on that. I've got Tor Garadon. I've already done 3 Aggressors and 5 Intercessors.
Okay.
In the mustard yellow, as you coined.
No, this is the bright yellow. Now. This is the 40k yellow, not the mustard yellow from my 30k Imperial Fists.
They're different, Dave. Come on.
Wanted it to look different.
One's French, one's English mustard.
Yes. But I bought the
brown.
Impulsors, the Transports.
American mustard.
Bought the Impulsors, which I want to add to that.
All right, yeah. What are you building with? Dome? You magnetised them, right? I've watched your video.
Yeah, I've fully magnetised that.
Power research, eh?
Yep.
That's good, isn't it?
10 Intercessors and a Redemptor. They're all built, they're all base coated. So again,
Oh, wow. Okay.
that was all done in 2019. And then Shiny Model Syndrome, you should put that down.
Yeah,
It's another thing.
Up.
But again, it's a year of catch up. My Solar Guardian Marines and more Marines, which is my homebrew force.
Yeah.
I've got a couple of war suits, the Invicta war suits. I want to add to
Nice.
that.
That thing's so cool.
I've got
I know someone else has got one of those.
Yes.
I know someone else that needs to paint it.
Yes. Two beardy relic Leviathan Dreads.
2.
Oof.
I discovered I went and bought one because you guys bought one.
Yeah.
So I went and bought one because
you
I
could
can't
buy
really
us
get one out.
Influencers.
And then I discovered in one of my many drawers of Hobby Doom is that my sister-in-law bought me one 2 years ago for Christmas. And it was just sat in the drawer in a
See, my
bag.
Bitzbox has stuff like, oh, that turret from the Lehman Russell.
No,
used for
mine-
the future.
mine
And
has
it's like, oh, look, a £60 model.
There's a relic of yeah. So thanks sister-in-law for that.
Does she watch?
No. Moving on 10 Hell Blasters, 3 Suppressors and 3 Eliminators, which all came from the box set.
So
when they
much
come
on
up.
the card. Oh,
So that's a
my
lot.
word.
That's a lot. Again, I think that might take a bit more than a month though. But I'm hoping with the other cutbacks, because most of it's already done. It's a finishing kind of year. I also want to do another Titan.
It's a
Why
finish.
not?
Okay.
Why not?
Did you finish your compensator class Titan?
No.
Oh, well, we'll put that one on then.
This could be the one of the Titan. The
Please,
Warbringer
because
Titan.
that has the best crew of any model in 40k.
you love the crew
I love
on the
the
little
crew. I love that crew.
observation deck.
The guy
Yeah.
on the observation deck next to the 80-foot cannon next to him.
It fires one time and he just gets liquidized.
Yeah.
That's how physics works. But it's 40k, so it'd be fine.
But with my Titans, they're all
got
built,
Gellerfield.
they're all primed, they're all ready to start painting.
Okay.
And knowing how to do the paint jobs that I want now, because I did a lot of experimenting on the Warlord and on some of the Adeptus Titanicus stuff with that solar celestial effect and bits and pieces. I reckon if I put my mind to it, that's it. I could do that in a month.
Woof. That is. There have been some commitments made.
That's a commitment. So Then some small stuff: Aeronautica Imperialis and Adeptus Titanicus.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
I've done a whole bunch of planes, but
Yes.
I've bought some of the expansion kits, so I've got a couple more of the new Grot bombers.
Yes.
Um,
It's got bombs.
and I need to do the terrain as well.
I'll tell you what you need to do, the terrain for Aeronautica Imperialis.
Yes.
Have you seen the board that's 3D?
Yes, I have the German board.
Yeah,
It's done in
so
German,
good.
yes.
Yeah. It's
With
good.
a clear hex grid over the top.
It looks amazing.
I might try and find the image for that and put it on the video.
Yeah, please do.
But it's
so good.
very, very
So
cool.
good.
Talking of mini scale Adeptus Titanicus, I want to get 2 mana pools finished so we can actually play.
Okay. Yes, that'd be cool.
Again, going back to that, there's probably only 2 more models to add to make 2 legitimate mana pools. So again, not a big project for in this breakdown. Sisters of Battle. Let's move on to more Imperium stuff. I bought the fancy stuff, the new box set that came out before Christmas. I'm not sure whether I want to immediately add to that because all the new models come out next weekend.
Yes.
Yes.
But I want to at least get the core 15-ish models done.
Yep.
And then,
Have you got a colour scheme for them?
no,
Okay.
open to ideas on which sisterhood, what are they called?
I will shock you by telling you that I am going to spray mine bright silver and use contrast paints.
Are you really? I'm
It's-
sorely
it's-
tempted with that.
Yeah,
that
well,
idea.
dibs on turquoise, so no moving in on my territory.
Okay, you may have that.
It's on record.
I could edit
It's on
that
the
record.
internet. Damn it!
But providing you edit it on the podcast.
Yeah.
Double edit. Oh, we'll sort some money out later.
We edit.
Who will win?
Yes. And then finally, I started an Adeptus Mechanicus army many
Yeah, I know. I got
months
your
ago.
Bitzbox.
Yes. You got the
I've rated your Bitzbox
You
already.
did. And
I've
again,
used more bits than you
most
have.
of it is built. Most of it is painted. But
Maybe
again, I actually want to make it into a usable army.
Yes.
So a lot of the stuff here, it might seem like an awful lot, but most of it's
finishing
probably
off,
at
right?
50 to 75% done already.
We thought we'd actually think about what we're going to do with the podcast this year because we have some ideas.
What's wrong with it now?
Well, Dave's
Everything.
No. Just some ideas about how we could be a bit more creative with it. Kind of spice things up a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, going into the creative elements, we had a Q&A a few months back, and I turned it into a game show. And
The
that
2-minute Q&A game show.
yeah,
2-minute 40k Q&A.
Yep.
thank you.
Awful.
Hashtag.
Worst hashtag ever.
And that went down really well. We had lots of positive comments actually from out of the blue. So we want to do a lot more of that. I've had lots of ideas. We just didn't want to saturate it at the time.
Yeah.
So we've got loads more game shows and
Fun elements.
stupid fun elements
For we are stupid.
and fun, allegedly. According to 1 out of every 4 comments. So no, I need to sort of get the stuff in. So the sound drops went down really well. The game shows went down really well. So
Yep.
we're going to try and implement a lot more of those in 2020.
And also a bit more collaborative stuff like this. There's loads of people in the hobby that produce good content.
Like this, but not this.
This is an example of it.
We feel we're stuck in an audio format, and we are made for video.
Yeah, right.
No, I mean we've worked with Dave from Me Wargaming. We've worked with you. We've worked with Warlock Warzone Morlock, I should say, not Warlock.
Warlock. That's what I should shorten it down to.
Yeah, Warzone Morlock.
We just thought we'd do more stuff like that, just to branch out a little bit more.
Collaboration is cool.
It's a lot of fun, and I suppose it ties in with the interview thing. The interview was really good fun with Dave. We maybe try and approach a whole bunch of people and maybe see if anybody else wants to come and chat. Maybe just like as a segment rather than a whole show, or as a bonus episode, something like that. Something interesting to kind of mix it up a little bit.
Ooh.
It makes it more, more variety is always good in these sort of things.
No, I just liked your voice.
Yeah. Like format, you talked earlier about us having our format. We like to do things a certain way, which is one reason we want to mix it up. But we did want to kind of lock down our bat rep format a bit more.
Yes.
It's a bit sporadic in the different ways we do it, and I thought it'd be better if we had kind of a bit more structure, so we can kind of...
I'll tell you what it is. It depends so we have 2 weeks between episodes, and it depends if we had played in the first week versus the second week.
Yes, this is a big difference.
And whether we can remember it.
Yeah.
The ones that we remember, we go a bit more story-orientated and can... sort of go through the turns, and the ones that we played in the first week we can't remember, and we have to sort of skip through following our
and make it up and say that you want.
Well, we take a bunch of photos. What I do is I take pictures of stuff as it happens as a quick snap rather than writing. We did write notes and it got really
I remember you writing.
Yeah, so now we just take snapshots on the phone.
Yeah.
But we want to kind of bring a bit more of a story element to it, because essentially the narrative story bit's the bit we like the most, so we wanted to kind of draw that in a bit more and kind of more just pick out highlights of cool stuff that happens, because essentially when you remember back to a game, you remember roughly the story of the mission that's being played out, and you remember the random cool stuff that happened. Those are the bits you kind of want to focus on.
But we're not competitive gamers, so people aren't going to watch or listen to our
tactical acumen
at all.
Roll a 6 on Overwatch, that's my tactical acumen.
We don't do ITC missions and stuff like that with all the kill more and score more and hold more and...
What's he talking about?
I have no idea.
Exactly. I watched Tabletop Tactics once, and that's what they were talking about. And we don't do that. We still play to match play points because
it's just so easy.
It's just the way to do it.
Yeah.
But we tend to play a bit more thematic and do stupid things in games because it's
Orcs
cool
are going to run forward and hit
that's
stuff.
What we want to kind of focus
rather
on.
Rather than capture objectives, and Elder are going to do psychic stuff.
And something we were talking about just before on the drive over, actually. We really want to make a trip to Warhammer World again this year.
Yes.
It would be cool to take part in an event. We know there's things flying around on our local gaming group about options. Yep. We really want to kind of make sure we get to Warhammer World for a big event this year.
I want to do a team event, like a doubles or a quads.
Brothers.
Well,
Battle Brothers.
There is a team event in April.
There is a
four-man team.
But they're individual games. That's the difference.
I like doubles games.
Yes.
Doubles games are good for a laugh. So
team
maybe
games, I should say.
So we're kind of looking. Finally, Dave, because you actually put this to me as something you wanted to do, and I've been backburning it for a while.
Yes. So we are a 40k podcast,
and will continue to be.
I mean, it still says it on our t-shirts. But I can't stop looking at Age of Sigmar models. Some of the armies coming out, some of the ranges. Arguably, I'd say that Age of Sigmar models are as good as, if not better than, 40k models.
Their range is fresher.
Yes. So I would like to dabble in a bit of Age of Sigmar in the near future. This podcast won't change at all.
No, we probably won't bring it onto the podcast much, apart from some hobby progress. Yeah. But I think we would like to kind of dabble in it. I mean, we've played Age of Sigmar, played Warhammer loads back in the day when it was Warhammer Fantasy Battle. I would like to kind of pick it up again, and I want to do goblins.
And I'm ready to put the Tomb Kings to rest. And do
Ossiarch Bone Reapers instead.
Yeah.
I have the models I was thinking of, those Bone Reapers, which are just so cool.
I have dwarves on rounded bases. I have a few Caradron Overlords.
Yep.
Or Caradron Overlords, I think.
Caradron Overlords, yeah.
But I really like the Sylvaneth, actually.
Ooh.
The Sylvaneth are really cool.
So we will pick up a little bit of Age of Sigmar on the side, I think. Just for some variety again.
As and when disposable income allows us.
Oh, I've got a whole bunch of orc stuff in the cupboard, so I'm all right.
Yeah. But we've got a lot going on in 2020. Hopefully.
Yeah.
Sounds like you have too.
A lot of painting.
Yep.
But equally, I do want to get more games in as well.
Yes.
I'd love to get
lax on the games.
Been lax. I'd like to get at least one a month.
Yeah, that's a good target.
12 games a year, I think is good. I used to play back in the day. I used to play twice a week.
Yeah, man, it's crazy back. Yeah.
Back when I didn't live here,
Yeah.
I used to have a local gaming store, and I was down there on their late night gaming nights, Tuesday and Thursday, week in, week out.
Back when I didn't have a spouse.
When I
had no other social
when I
obligations.
didn't have any obligations, and I had free evenings. That's what I did.
Thursday nights down the local Games Workshop.
Yeah.
Those were the days.
Should we round things off with a hobby tip then?
Please
As
do.
customary. Gonna keep it brief this week. Hobby tip learned from the Zone Mortalis project. I have found the quickest and easiest way of doing metals for terrain. Previously, I've done a lot of like sponging of metals, which I'm going to do on a couple of pieces for variety. But to get the bulk metal done, and it's specifically for the pipes and stairs, because Zone Mortalis is very industrial. I wanted to get a kind of greasy, grimy look to the metals done easy. Normally, it's for me spray with lead belcher because it comes out of a can, dead
Standard.
easy,
Yeah.
and then wash with Agrax Earthshade.
Yes.
I have found I don't want to say better option than Agrax Earthshade, because for miniatures, Agrax is the one.
Yes.
I found an alternative option, which made for a much more greasy, grimier look and was a lot quicker and easier, and that is to still prime with lead belcher, because that's just the way I love to do things. Hit some of the details with Balthazar Gold, or you could use Retributor Armour if you want to use that. It's for like a brassy, goldy, bronzy option.
So you don't want to paint it brass first. You want to go gold because.
Balthazar Gold
is now
is-
going to.
Yeah, I mean, Balthazar Gold is kind of a bronzy.
Yeah.
It's a very dark gold colour. Retributor Armour, you can mix that in as well if you wanted to, if that's what you've got. And just to break up the pipes are like. Otherwise, they're solid silver, right? I did it on my night body as well. You paint some of the details in another metal colour to kind of not just be a wall of silver, because it looks a bit boring. And then I hit it with AK Interactives. We talked about them before. Their Streaking Grime product. So this is designed for streaking downwards with brush strokes with a spirit on there. I've used the Rain Effects one before.
Typhus Corrosion does a very similar.
It does a very similar job, but the difference is, once it's dry, you can wipe it off of the highlight areas, or the upper areas. So I tested their panel liner product first, because I had that. Wasn't happy, it looked okay. Didn't look very oily and grimy, it just looked shaded. I tried oil paints, because obviously a lot of people use oil paints thinned down with white spirits. It looked a bit bitty and gritty, so if you want a grittier texture, go with oil paints with mixed in with white spirits, works great. I found the AK Interactive Streaking Grime does the best for like that stained working metals look. It would be good for like night joints on the legs and stuff like that.
I've used it on. I don't think I used the Streaking Grime. I think I used their Engine Grime.
Okay, it's probably very similar, but
It's just
I
a
had
different
this.
shade, I think.
Yeah. And once it went on, it dries, and because it's spirit based, it doesn't set hard. So you can use a cotton bud, which is the best thing to use for this, to wipe it off of the top surfaces and leave it in the recesses. But it has kind of like, because it is quite a sticky, oily mix, it really does look like smeared and worn away oil. So where you're wiping it off of the areas of wear or the smooth top surfaces, it still stains it a little bit, and you get a really nice graduation into the darkness in the recesses with basically zero effort and skill.
Yep.
You know, liquid skill is what they call Agrax Earthshade and Null Oil. This is liquid skill for terrain, and it's come up great. I used the cotton buds and then snipped the tips off afterwards, used the tips for scratching off the masking fluid that I was doing earlier.
No product wasted.
Nothing
Combo.
wasted. Cheapness. And also they do a streaking rust version. So if you wanted a kind of rustier, drier
more
look
orange?
to it, it's got more orange in it, you could use the streaking rust product. But they're streaking products, because of the texture of them after they've dried, you can wipe them away real easy, and it just looks the bomb with no effort.
They also do an engine oil range as well for different.
Okay.
So different shades. They also do like a moss green and stuff.
Yeah,
like
and
that.
this is a brownie one, so
yeah.
the engine's probably more black, and
Yeah.
the moss green would be more green for like wet stone.
But you're
and
not
stuff
using
like
it in the streaking format. You're not doing it at the top and then dragging it down. You're using it as like
an all over. I just splash
like a
it.
filter / wash.
I wash it on like you would Agrax Earthshade and let it dry, and then buff away very quickly the top surfaces, and it gives that. It brings back the shine, but still looks slightly stained brown.
Do you seal it afterwards?
100% oil.
because
Will
it
end up on your
goes-
fingers.
Yeah, it goes. It takes a while to dry
I
properly.
mean, it's terrain, so you're going to want to seal it anyway. But I would hit it with I usually do the gloss coat, matte coat.
Yeah.
Gloss coat for strength, matte coat for finish.
Yeah.
Your terrain looks the bomb and is tough as nails. I mean, mine's not been damaged in however many games we've played, so it's the way.
Happy days.
I mean, the amount of times we've stabbed ourselves with the top of the buildings.
That's
surprised it hasn't.
Yeah.
So there we go then, guys. That is the first ever videoed Floorhammer podcast, and pretty much my first ever chat to camera kind of thing for the whole content. Normally it's painting and whatever, so very different format to me. It's been very entertaining to be a part of this. I have been on your podcast before. We did the
Warhammer Fest rundown
earlier this year, which was great fun.
Oh, 2020.
Oh, Fest 2020 is happening, mate.
Fest 2020. That's a given. But no, it's been great fun. I hope you guys have enjoyed watching the podcast. And if you don't listen to them, why not subscribe?
Please do.
And while you're subscribing to them, subscribe to this channel as well, just for good measure.
Like, comment, and subscribe.
That's exactly the outro.
Yep.
Very good.
So do all of those things, and I shall catch you guys on the next video.
Cheers.